Hey guys, I'm Doug YYZ. I make Canadian personal finance videos here on YouTube, and this one, by the way, beginner, because I am no expert at all. I actually started this self-directed tax-free savings account in Wealthsimple Trade back at the beginning of the pandemic. I had some money in mutual funds. It wasn't growing like crazy. I thought I could do a better job. So I sold them and started investing. It was the perfect time to get started because if you remember, things tanked for a while and then they shot up like crazy. Lately, we've had a few bad months. And in fact, I have the tax-free savings account open right now. Last month, actually 2 months ago now, because I've been late with these videos, but back in September 15th, I posted a video where the balance of the portfolio was $42,115. Today, the markets are live right now. It is November 11th, and we're at $46,032.70. If we look back over the last few months, you can see it's been up and down, but mostly down, -3%. We lost $1,288, but overall, and that's what counts, since we started this account in early 2020, we are up 26%, $9,436.80, and I'm pretty proud of that. There's one thing though that I'm even more excited about is that October for dividends was a record-breaking month. And by the way, if you're new here, I'm a dividend-focused investor, and maybe that's just me being an amateur, me being a beginner investor, but I like to see my money making money without having to sell the stock, because really you only see your capital gains when you sell it. You don't get to actually see the tangible money coming in like you do with dividends. The other reason why I've chosen to focus on a dividend strategy is because tax-free savings accounts have a contribution limit. They give you a little bit more every year, but once you reach that limit, what am I going to do on this channel? There's nothing to do. But since I have the dividends coming back in, I can still trade, I can still be active, because that's one of the benefits. And this is not an ad or anything like that. But the one thing that I really like about Wealthsimple Trade is it feels almost like a game on my phone. And I know that's bad to say. It's a lot of money and I'm not playing a game with all this money. I do have a strategy and I do have goals for this. I do invest in other things too, but it's really convenient and easy to do it on the phone. And I just want to keep doing that throughout the year. I don't want to reach that contribution limit and be like, that's it. Still a far ways off. I'll jump quickly back to the portfolio here, and you can see that my deposits, I'm almost at 36,000, but my limit for a tax-free savings account is like 90,000. So I can still put a lot more in. It's going to take me a while at my $700 every 2 weeks to actually get to that contribution limit, but we'll get there in, I don't know, a few years or something like that. Back to that spreadsheet, back to the record-breaking month of October, $212.24. That's awesome. We broke the $200 milestone. And I hope to see that in 2023 a lot. I hope to see every month over $200. And I think it's possible. Maybe the first few won't be there, but if you look earlier this year, we still had months that were on the graph here, $95, $99, but we're not seeing that anymore. Consistently, every month is over $100. One thing to point out too is there's the difference here between monthly payouts and quarterly payouts. You can see that October, 4 months ago, July was a good one. That was our second highest, $187.69. And then we have April and we have January. So these are the big ones, it seems. For October and July, I remember those being particularly big months for Scotiabank, and that's something we'll look at in just a few moments here. So the total for the year is almost $1,400, and I predict that by the end of this year, we will have made $1,700. I don't feel super proud of that, and I'm gonna tell you why. We're gonna open a calculator here. We're gonna do a little bit of math here. I'm not very good at that, but I do know I wanna take what we've made, $1,395, divided by how many months we've done so far, which is 10. Oh, I could have done that one in my head. $139 a month. And if we times that by 12, if we multiply it by 12, we get 1674. And I continue to buy stocks. So that's why I do think that this is going to reach like 1,700 by the end of the year. I have how many more paychecks left in the year? 3, I think. So if we add how much we're going to be contributing for the rest of the year plus 46,000. It brings us, we should be ending off the year above 48,000, pretty close actually to 50,000. I can't remember what my goal was at the beginning of 2022. I made a video. We'll go back and look at that in the next video at the end of the year, the last update for the year, which will be December. So it looks like in dividends for the year of 2022, I would have only brought in 3.5% of the portfolio. That's not a great return that I'd like to see, because right now you're looking around Tangerine, Motive Financial, all banks are offering really high interest savings accounts that involve no risk. And there's also GICs, they lock in your money, but there's some that I saw recently for 5%. And these things are really low risk. If I'm putting myself out there and making these investments, I want to see a bigger return than 3.5%. I get tied up in the dividends and I forget that I've also made money on the value of these stocks. These stocks have gone up. That is part of the return too. So it's not just 3.5%. We got to look at the graph and we got to consider, okay, over the last year, how have we done? It's negative 2%. So 2022, definitely not as good of a year for investing for me as 2021. And I think a lot of people are kind of feeling the crunch, but just this week, there's been a pretty big rally. In the last week, we're up 4%, $1,700, almost $1,800. So we're making a recovery, it seems. I don't know how things are going to go. We'll see, like Russia's retreat, Christmas coming up, the energy crisis that is looming in Europe right now. There's a lot of things. I'm no economist. I can't predict what's going to happen, but I mean, all we can do is keep investing and hoping for the best. You can see that right now in the account available to trade, I have $815.78. This is from the most recent paycheck, that was this week, and I haven't bought anything with it yet. I'm still on the fence of what I want to buy, what I want to do, because I mentioned I do want to increase that percentage. I don't want it just to be 3.5% in dividends. I want that to be closer to like 5-6%. In order to get there, I do have to buy stocks that have high yields. Right now, HYLD is a favorite of mine because it's like a 14% yield. It's an ETF. That's one that I'm going to keep putting money in. Other ones are those dividend aristocrats that are going to increase their dividend as the years go by. So Bell is one that I would like to put more money into. CIBC. Now, this is a new one that I just bought recently. I only bought 10 shares, but I want to be putting more money in that to kind of spread all my investments over the big banks in Canada. There's 5 plus 1 National Bank. I have Scotiabank, BMO, and CIBC, and National Bank, and I think I'm going to put more money into those. Their yield is around like 5%. Let's look at CIBC actually. So it's 5.3% right now. That's still pretty good. So I am showing you Wealthsimple Trade from the browser. What happens when you go to the activity tab is it highlights all your accounts. So if you have a RRSP, you'll see it there. You need to filter. Since we're only looking on this channel at my tax-free savings account, we don't want to look at all the activity. Let's look at the dividends. Let's look at which stocks brought us to that $212 for the month of October. I mentioned this before, Scotiabank, almost $90. That's pretty nice, but it is a quarterly one. BTB, only $4. That's a real estate investment trust. Bell is another one that had a nice payout. We're getting close to $20 there. I should be putting more in Bell. Smart Centers, $22.05. That's one of my favorites. That's a real estate investment trust. TNT, another one, real estate investment trust. That's like $11. Innovalis, we won't talk about that. Northwest Health, another real estate investment trust, $6.67. Pembina Pipeline, this one is an energy stock, and uniquely, it pays out monthly, where something like Enbridge pays out quarterly. That was almost $7. And HYLD, one of my favorites, $25.48. And I think there was one other big one in October. Yeah, big, I mean above $10. TELUS, telecommunications company, it pays out quarterly, and that was $10.16. I could put more in that too. I'm not going to make any purchases today or right now. I guess I'll wait until next week, but I will show you some of the buys that I made recently. In October, I bought some Northwest Health, 20 shares of that. HYLD, I think I bought that several times, but 35 shares on the 27th at $11.69 a share, 409 total. And just earlier that day, I bought more, I guess, 9 shares. BTB and Power Corp, these are two that, you know, it's for small amounts. I had some money left over in my account, and I think I just wanted to spend it. I didn't want to have a balance sitting there, and it was the perfect amount to buy up 9 shares of BTB, I guess. This is a new one. These are my first 10 shares of CIBC, and I am going to be putting more in that for sure. So I hope that by showing you guys, being very transparent and showing you guys the portfolio, a lot of other YouTubers don't do that when they're talking about finance. They won't show you the total value. They want to keep it a mystery, but people don't want to see the mystery. People are afraid of talking about money like it's some social faux pas, but transparency. Let's help each other. I will scroll down, just give you a quick view of all the stuff we hold, how many shares. You'll see in the first column what the stock is currently valued at. In the middle column, you'll see our total value and how many shares we have of it. And in the last column, you'll see since we started investing in each stock, are we up or down, by what percentage, and by what dollar amount. So there's some that are not great. 87% down, but only $267, so it's not something to worry too much about. It was a mistake I learned from, not to listen to suggestions from friends on what to invest in without doing the research myself. Magna, that goes up and down. That's not so bad. All right, guys, this video has been running on way too long. Thank you for watching and subscribing. If you're interested to see where we take this account in 2023, hit subscribe if you aren't already. I'm gonna make another video in December, kind of recapping the year, giving you a November/December update. I will be talking about the goals for 2023 and what I wanna do with the portfolio and where I wanna be this time next year. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.